Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am an alcoholic, and today I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I cannot be any more grateful. It's Friday night. That means it's our Crosstalk Friday meeting. Tonight, it's open to the general public, 7 o'clock. If you're local to the Huntington, West Virginia area, come on down to 5747 East Pea Ridge Road in Huntington for the quickest hour in recovery. It's always so much fun. Just a group of drunks and drug addicts sitting around talking shop about how we got sober and how we're planning on staying that way. So tonight, 7 o'clock, we'll see you there. Speaking of Crosstalk, Tuesday night's Crosstalk, we had so many topics come in that my kid's sister, Dren, and I, we decided we were going to divvy up the topics remaining and discuss them on these monologues. And the last topic I have to discuss today anyway, it's kind of interesting. Now, keep in mind, the way we do our crosstalk meetings, folks write down on note cards whatever recovery-related topic or question that they may have. And they do so anonymously. We don't know how they come in or who sent them. And at times, people will write down phrases. Sometimes they'll write out complete questions. I did a monologue a couple weeks ago about the status quo, and that was all that was written on the card. So we don't really know. We just kind of have to guess what they may be asking. And I got this card and I read it at pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization. And I was like, man, that sounds awful familiar. When I had questions, I did what I always do now, and I went to the book. And sure enough, on page 30 in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, Bill actually writes that phrase, pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization. And I found it fascinating. But let me give you the context in which he writes. On page 30 of the big book, he writes, all of us felt at times we were regaining control. In other words, we were regaining control of our alcoholism. We were doing good, right? But such intervals, usually brief, were inevitably followed by still less control, which led in time to pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization. I've said many times on these morning monologues, I've discussed anyway, I've talked about how there were periods in my life where I would try to get sober because I wasn't an alcoholic. It was just a discipline problem, not an alcohol problem. It was something with my discipline, my lack of self-control. And I would do good for like 3-6 months maybe, and I would say to myself, oh, you know what? You've got this. You've learned how to control your alcoholism. You've learned how to control your drinking. And I remember telling my wife that. I remember telling my kids that. Anybody who would listen, I was, oh, no, I've got this. I've figured it out. And sure enough, I would take that drink, and a week later, there I am waking up in the morning, tremoring, shaking, going, how the hell did I end up here? I thought I could control it, and here I am. I'm already craving that next drink, and I just opened my eyes for the day. How the hell did I get back here? And then I get pissed off at myself. I was angry at myself that I had allowed myself to get back to this point where I thought I had already learned to control. I was back here at the starting point, if you will. Square one. And it was incredibly frustrating. And Bill speaks to that with that pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization. Pitiful meaning, man, I feel really bad. This sucks that I'm back here. Incomprehensible meaning, I don't understand how the hell I got back to this point. How did I end up at square one? I was doing good. And then demoralization meaning, well, fuck it. There's nothing I can do. I give up. Again, I would get so angry at myself. I'm doing good. And then I would lie to myself. I would buy my own bullshit, as I talked about the other day. Oh, you know what? You can have one. And I would fall for it every time. And that one turned into a week-long bender, or 2 weeks, 3 months. And I would wake up and I would get angry at myself. I'd get angry at myself that I let my kids down. The promises that I made to my children, to my wife, I'm going to stop drinking. I let them down. But then I'd get even more angry that I had allowed it. I was the one making the choice, and I couldn't figure it out. Again, incomprehensible. And again, that ultimately led me to the point where I said, you know what? I'm just done. I can't fight anymore. When I gave up, and I spoke about this last week actually, when I gave up, when I quit fighting and I stopped fighting, that's when I was able to finally admit, you know what, I didn't lose the battle. I lost the entire fucking war. But that was also my starting point. It's easy for us to sit and armchair quarterback this thing and say, well, this is where I fucked up and this is where I went wrong and I went wrong over here. The question now is, what are you going to do about it? we could set and beat ourselves up, and that's what I did. I used to set and beat myself up all the time, and I finally learned, instead of beating myself up, I needed to start building myself up, and that's what the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous allowed me to do. I started lifting myself up, and I was able to get to that point, or get from that point of pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization to finally living a happy, joyous, and free life. And for that, I just couldn't be any more appreciative. So with that being said, I'll let you guys go. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys absolutely keep me sober, and I cannot be any more appreciative. If there's a topic you'd like to discuss, feel free to drop it into an email, Drew, D-R-E-W, at recoveryclassroom.org. I'll take a look at it, see what we can do. Like and share these videos with your friends on Facebook and Instagram and whatever other social media platforms we have out there. We have a lot. And be sure to reach out to my kid sister, Drinda. Make sure that she gets her video out today. So I think this wraps it up. We'll be talking again soon, guys. Remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.